How has the Mediterranean region been historically perceived by Northern Europeans? If you're curious about how the Mediterranean region has been viewed by Northern Europeans throughout history, you're about to uncover some fascinating and sometimes contentious perspectives. Historically, the perception of the Mediterranean by Northern Europeans has been shaped by various factors, including cultural, racial, and geopolitical theories. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the concept of Mediterraneanism emerged, particularly in Italy. This ideology, championed by anthropologists like Giuseppe Sergi, posited that the Mediterranean people formed a distinct and superior racial group. Sergi argued that the Mediterranean race was the finest brunette race, separate from both black and white peoples, and was responsible for many of the achievements in Mediterranean civilization. However, this view was not universally accepted. Northern Europeans, especially those adhering to Nordicism, had a different perspective. Nordicism emphasized the superiority of the Nordic or Aryan race, often depicted as fair-skinned and blonde-haired. This ideology subordinated Mediterranean peoples, viewing them as racially degenerate. Italian fascists initially rejected Nordicism, seeing it as incompatible with their own cultural and political identity. Mussolini, for instance, criticized Nordicism, highlighting the historical achievements of Mediterranean civilizations and dismissing the idea that Nordics were superior. The French historian Fernand Braudel also played a role in shaping Mediterranean perceptions. Braudel supported the idea of Mediterranean unity and used it to justify French colonialism in Algeria. He argued that the Berbers, with their Mediterranean heritage, could be natural allies of the French against Arabo-Islamic influences. In the late 1930s, as Italy aligned more closely with Nazi Germany, Italian fascist thought began to incorporate elements of Nordicism. This led to a mixed form of Mediterraneanism that accepted some Nazi racial theories, asserting that Italians were part of the white Aryan race. This shift was partly to appease Nazi Germany, rather than reflecting genuine anti-Semitic sentiments among Italians. Geopolitically, the Mediterranean has always been a contested region. Northern European powers have often viewed the Mediterranean as a strategic area to extend their influence over Europe. The control of the Mediterranean's shores and access points has been crucial, as naval superiority alone was not enough to dominate the region. This was evident in the historical struggles between European powers and non-European entities like the Ottoman Empire. From a cultural perspective, the Mediterranean has been seen as a place of rich historical continuities and civilizational layers. Fernand Braudel noted that the Mediterranean civilizations were characterized by endless historical continuities, with distinct features on both its northern and southern shores. However, these cultures were often stereotyped by Northern Europeans. During the Romantic era, the Mediterranean was idealized as a harmonious and solar culture, but later it was seen as backward and nostalgic compared to the progressive North. In summary, the historical perception of the Mediterranean by Northern Europeans has been complex and varied. It has been influenced by racial theories, geopolitical strategies, and cultural stereotypes, often reflecting the broader tensions and alliances between European powers.